I've got a sheet of questions for you, but I'm going to be honest with you. One of the things that struck me the most while watching your documentary was your manifestation journal.
Mm.
The fact that you had written in this book, in your own words, in your own handwriting, the dreams that you're now living. I wonder for you now, what is the latest manifestation journal entry? Like, what's the dream now?
You know, it's interesting. I think the thing that I don't do is the same exact thing all the time when it comes to my journaling. It's constantly changing with my life. And
Yeah.
um I think what's shown in the documentary is like, I will sell out the stadium, I will sell out this, I will do this, and that is powerful. And I will always manifest things like that if I feel like I need to. But my manifestation journal these days, I actually heard Hugh Jackman talking about it, and he talks about how every day he starts his journal with "Today I," as if it's already happened. And I start my journal every day with a "Today I," and my manifestation, I mean, that's a manifestation in itself. It's of what's going to happen today. And it's simple, man. I mean, I think for me, especially during COVID, and having some time to kind of sit with myself, for me, it's about not just getting on this call with you and doing an interview, but being present on this call with you and really kind of enjoying my time doing this stuff. Because if I can't do that, then time is just kind of slipping away. I don't want to get so heavy and dark on everything, but like the manifestation for me has turned into, how am I going to enjoy each day like it's the last one? And I think that comes from sending love and energy into the people that you get to communicate with, you know? And that's why it's been so hard through COVID, like where everything is through Zoom, and it's like, feels like there's nothing tangible to kind of grab onto. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been even harder, I imagine, for people who really thrive off that feeling.
Right.
And it's been super powerful and super healing for me to sit down with a journal every morning and write down how I'm feeling about it all, you know?
I'll be honest, I have not been able to read all of the emails that were centered around this interview, and so I want to be respectful, but it was something that really struck me about the music that you were writing earlier in your career being about the woman that you love,
Mm-hmm.
about the woman in your life, and and how you were like, I thought that of course you knew. You know,
Yeah.
of course you knew.
I
It
mean,
was such a sweet moment to me.
yeah.
And I'm just so glad that you shared it, because I feel like people have this idea that you were like this like stud, this guy that like anybody you wanted you could have. Meanwhile, your gaze was fixed very squarely on this woman who was also looking at you.
I know. Um, it's also being 18 years old, you know? Like, I think it takes a lot of courage to tell the woman that you love her. And I mean, I had 5 years of fear of getting rejected by her,
Yeah.
that just stopped me from doing it every time. Or just confidence. I think, you know, it just took a lot. It took a long time of preparing. I mean, I had a 5 year warm up to finally be able to tell her how I felt. And it was so funny in the documentary, like the day after. I just thought it was such a funny story because we really were in the car. And I think people think sometimes maybe those types of stories get made up to like be fun
So,
or funny, but that was a true thing. We were really in the car, and I was like, you like, just expecting her to know that, like, you know, I mean, the funny thing is I was 16 years old writing my second album, or 17, and I had like heard through the grapevine that she had feelings for some guy. And like, I'm talking like feelings, like they're not a thing, they don't hang out, there's
right.
nothing going on. Then I go and write a song that's like, darling, I'm not trying to ruin your happiness, but don't you know that I'm the only one for you? It's like people are listening to these songs where I'm being so dramatic, but it's based off of like something I heard that might not even be true. But
Right.
I mean, that's a dramatic songwriter inside of me. But
I'm gonna
yeah, I
tell
mean,
you,
it's funny.
I'm gonna tell you something that she told me, that Camila told me about you. We were talking just about, I think it was one of her music videos, and how there was a guy who kind of, if you squinted your eyes, you could kind of maybe think that he looked like you a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
She said to me, how could I ever find someone to be like Shawn? he's magic.
Oh.
And like, bruh, to me, it was such a sweet moment, and like it really let us in a little bit into your connection with one another. And so we don't have to talk about that a lot. I just wanted to say
No,
it was
yeah.
really beautiful and really sweet. And for people as young as you guys are to be experiencing this together, I think you talk about in the documentary how you watched videos of you guys making vines and stuff earlier in your career, and it was like no one else gets why we're uncomfortable right now looking back at this moment, right? Going back
That was
that
actually a
moment.
part that I was confused if people were going to understand that, because like, like I watch, no one gets interviewed at 15 years old
Right.
like 50 times and then gets to watch it back 6 years later. But like, I watch back that 15-year-old kid who is like so scared and so unsure of this world he's about to step into, and just trying to be strong. And I'm just like, I just want to give that guy a hug. And it really evokes some emotion. And she feels, and she, same thing when she was in Fifth Harmony, she watches back those videos of her and she's like, oh, wow, I love that girl. We like often send love to the younger version of ourselves because we were trying so hard back then. Not that we haven't stopped trying so hard, but yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to do the thing, to be the thing, and to also honor the pursuit of the dream, right? Like you talked about your father, you walking up to your father and saying, I want to be a songwriter. And I feel like, and it choked me up actually watching it, because you feel like this is the thing that every young person wants their parents to feel about their dream, is like the support is there. And for so many of
It's
us,
not.
that isn't the case. But how do you thank your parents?
Oh my God. I mean, listen, I mean, that is,
I mean, he literally said to
we
you,
are,
you want to be a songwriter? Go write a song.
go do it. Go write a song. Exactly. I mean, I think that is the thing that I think, even in the moment, like right now, any 15-year-old who wants to do this, who wants to be a musician, like, you have to just do it, because there's going to be so many times in your life when people don't think you can do it, and people tell you can't, and people tell you that the business isn't right for you, and they don't get to choose. It's
Right.
not their life, it's your life. And the fact that I had that support at such a young age, I will say, is probably one of the biggest reasons as to why I am here, because I had belief. I had real belief in me, and that is one of the most powerful things in the whole world. So that's what I was trying to get across too in the documentary, is like, whoever you are, you have to believe in yourself, because not everyone's as lucky as me to have that support, you know?
Yeah. One of the lyrics in Wonder is, I mean, first of all, the album, brother, kudos. We have so
Thanks,
much to
man.
discuss. But one of the lyrics I was really touched by was, I wonder when I cry into my hands, I'm conditioned to feel like it makes me less of a man.
Mm.
And I wonder where that came from for you. I saw tears in the doc about having to cancel a show because you know what it was like for those people in Sao Paulo to sacrifice the money in order to get there, sometimes traveling for miles. But I wonder for you what this was like to write this and share this.
That lyric gives me goosebumps every time I listen back to it. And I don't know what it is that we have as men from hundreds of years of conditioning to have to be so strong and like not feel emotionally, like, but the truth about it is that it's just not, it's not strong. The strongest way I think a man can live is to be open and to be vulnerable, because those feelings of like hurt and sadness and upset, if you don't process those and let them flow, then you're just going to hold them and get stressed and angry and tight. And I experienced that big time, and I still experience that. I think as a guy, I mean, as a guy who preaches that he's vulnerable and will kind of explain how he feels, like that cry in Sao Paulo was probably one of two cries I've had since. It's like, it's not easy to just let go. And I think,
well, brother, I cry at an Allstate commercial. I'll be honest with you, like, it don't take much for me. I cried twice. My birthday was earlier this week. I cried 3 times.
But that's why you get on this call and your eyes are glowing, and you feel, and you look like you are just here because you're letting it process. And I think it's so it's so hard because I mean, I don't want it to be a write-off. Like if two guys get on a call and we're like, go cry. I mean, maybe other guys will just be like, oh, it's just those guys. And some guys are like that. But
Right.
it's like the more men that can support that and preach that it's like important for our mental health is incredible.
Yeah.
It's not even about crying. It's about opening up and being
Open it
vulnerable.
up.
You know, like for years I wanted to film a beautiful live performance of my album, but really never got the chance, I guess probably because of my own scheduling or just the way life moves so quick. But COVID stopped us and was like, you're going to be able to do that right now. And so, I mean, honestly, it's stunning. It's so gorgeous and it feels magical. And a lot of the proceeds, majority of the proceeds are going towards my foundation. And basically, I have a foundation, which is right now the goal is to basically have resources for everybody to be able to go on to the website or onto the Instagram page and figure out how to help with any cause that they're interested in.
Yes.
Because I realized starting a foundation, I wanted to help in a lot of ways, but I didn't really know how to help or really honestly what I was wanting to help about. And I think right now it's about learning and educating and then taking action, and the foundation kind of helps achieve all that. So it's been great, man. It's a really beautiful thing, and I'm really excited about it. I took some dance classes at the beginning of January, and
I'm sorry?
yeah, I mean that was one of the most probably humbling experiences of my life because I like to believe that I'm a person who can like drop my ego, but I could not drop my ego for the first couple of weeks, and I didn't want to move. And in the performances, like I'm not dancing, but I'm moving around. Like you feel my freedom, and you feel the work that I put into that. So I'm really proud of it. Anyway, I hope it's really great.
Tell me, there's a part where you and Justin get together, and y'all give us a little monster. Y'all just give us a, you know, just there's a part, you know what I mean? Just a little bit.
I couldn't dance with him, that's for sure. He's really good. I can barely dance with myself.